Because I'm a greedy sorcerer and that's my character. I like that was my plan. And then I was gonna like go to the group and be like, "Hey guys, we got extra money." What actually happened was our cleric died. And like it wasn't one of those things where me being there would have for sure prevented his death. But I was like an 8th level sorcerer. I was a very large source of like the DPS, right? Like that was kind of my job, was to kill people. Because I was very much like a damage, like a DPS build sorcerer, and I wasn't there, or I didn't get there as soon as I should have. And like I think he died before I even got there, and it like launched we had a whole session where it was us trying to like survive long enough to get him like to a church that could like bring him back to life before like that hard timeline. I like fortunately my character had like just leveled up, and so I got I like specifically took teleportation circle so that I could so that we would have a chance at saving his life, and it barely worked. But it did work, and I was like, oh, I like deeply regretted that whole thing, but it made me such a better player because it's like, oh, that was real drama. That was the most like we were all legit shook up that we thought that like one of our like favorite party members had just died. Like it was so like that kind of thing that does make you a better player. Like I love it when like real emotions get involved.
Hey, Eli, I can only see the top half of your face.
You got like a little bit of a Halo thing going on.
I literally just woke up from a nap.
Yeah, you look tired, bud.
More like I never mind.
Doing okay?
Yep.
Do we need to like do concussion protocol?
Fell asleep. I'll be fine probably. Give me a minute.
Well,
All right, guys, get the concussion protocol tent set up around him. How many fingers am I holding up? Are they moving?
52.
Yes.
That's not
Both
good.
of them.
It's not good.
I had to take a quick nap earlier because well, it was a short work day, but I came back and then we were excavating on the property and trimming trees and stuff, so I was kind of
Oh,
tired.
that sounds cool.
Yeah. And I was like, I need to lay down for a little while. So, I'm not going to be a good DM if I'm tired, so I got some rest in. I'm glad I did. But
Yeah.
we're going to start. Does everyone have? Well, if you want to hear the music and sound effects, you'll want to open up Soundtail. I put the room number in the group chat.
Oh.
That is if you're interested.
Oh, I like it.
What is it? 6,
I
2,
love it.
1,
I'm gonna
1.
try to actually use playable sounds well today, if I can remember to do it.
I'm trying to remember to hit the bow and arrow button when I shoot.
Oh, it just adds that extra level of coolness factor.
It does. It definitely does. I haven't had a chance to listen to the other recordings, but do you have that sound effect also linked into your recordings?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, it's coming through really cleanly now. It was worth doing this. It's taken the quality up a notch, in my opinion. Ooh, not sure what that was, but that sounded cool.
That was Chi Fist.
Okay.
Where's Bow? Bow shoot.
This one is.
That's what I have set up for my fire sword.
This one's pretty cool. That one's healing spell. I like that one. Oh, glug 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 glug. All right, ready for battle. Now that I'm waterlogged. All right. Welcome back to Dan's Tomb of Annihilation, and we left off in the ruins of Mbala. After you free with your companions, both animal and not animal, just brutally slayed the hag that dwelt in this area, along with her summoned flesh golem. That is most likely her pet creature that defends her. Caught her reasonably unaware, and she was not really up to the task of defeating you. You had previously, what was the word I was going for? You had passed some giants on your way up the cliffside, killed both of them in the process, and before that you had challenged and defeated a flail snail, and then covertly hid the expensive part of it. Find later on your journey back, which is probably a good thing to leave in your notes if you're taking notes. That way you don't forget it's there, because I'm gonna probably not remember that it's there unless somebody tells me. That leaves us outside of this ruined portion of Mbala. Now, this is the only visible map I have for it. The rest of it's going to be a little bit theater of the mind. So there is more area to explore if you're interested. If not, the road, it does appear to continue on in the direction that you had heard from Raka. You should probably travel if you want to make it to Orlunga. He said that there's something very valuable there. You make it.
Okay. That makes sense. I definitely want to scope some of these tents out, though.
Okay. As you are looking around, is there anything in particular you're looking for?
I mean, I know this is definitely a fae. Like this is a hag, which is a fae creature. So I'm looking for anything that looks like it's not from around here. Anything that looks like it might be from the Feywild or any other like Fey magic artifacts. I know hags love their toys. They always got cursed objects and stuff. So.
Okay. Side note, out of game, I'm having trouble getting Roll20 to work all of a sudden.
Unfortunate.
I'm gonna give that a little bit of time. If it doesn't get fixed, I might put us on a brief 5-minute break, and I'll reboot my router.
Yeah, no problem.
It does this once in a while. But as you're searching in the tents, you don't really find anything Fey related, but you do find the tattered remains of humans that lived here. All of them are, the remains of like their belongings, their clothing, and that sort of thing, are just torn and ripped and on the ground and such. Their bones all have little knob markings, little tooth markings on them, and there are bones everywhere, which is just like kind of a little bit disgusting. Actually, a lot bit disgusting, and maybe a little I don't know, unsettling. Probably the word I would go for. There we go. I got Roll20 to function again. I don't know. It's going slow, so it might be a hard Roll20 night. There's a fair share of robes and tunics, rough spun clothing that's left that's in decent shape that you could pick up if you ever wanted. There's like bone knives, slings, packs of sling stones. They're really quite primitive in their technology. There's a cart with like 2 sacks full of something off on sort of eastern side of this enclosed area. And you may not have noticed before, but I'll get to you in just 1 second here. The area is enclosed in with large stone walls, and then that wooden palisade. Go ahead.
All right. Are you done with Petal? So sorry, I'm just. Are you done with Petal? Because I have my own thing that I want to do, but I don't want to interrupt.
Go ahead. Yeah, I'm just giving.
Okay.
Getting
Cool.
the creative mind jump started.
Cool. So I'm back in like the regular hag hut with Elvira. I think we grabbed the horn of blasting or something.
Yes. Yes.
She grabbed that. I'm going to assume that the rest of this stuff is cursed beyond all reason and that I don't really want to touch it. So, are the walls made out of wood?
This is more of a thatch hut with a...
Thatch hut. Okay, hold on. Let me rephrase that.
Crude leather roof.
Are the walls burnable?
Yes.
Cool. I'm gonna take my sword and like start poking the walls, dragging it along the floor as I leave, and I'm just gonna leave and let the thing burn.
The
cool.
clicking sound of fire. I wonder if there's a fire sound effect. Anyway, go ahead.
All right.
Nope.
Yeah.
I guess we'll go with that.
Yep.
That's a fire spell.
It's consumed in blue fire.
Yeah, the blue, which kind of melts, it turns into orange eventually, and sends up a rather dense plume of smoke.
Ah, darn. I should have thought of that.
It was a little bit wet. It kind of had rained a lot earlier.
Yeah.
It do be like that some days.
I should have thought of that.
Fine, I wouldn't worry about it. The wrong people already know we're here, so...
That is true. And we did just kill a hag.
Right. I think the only people that are going to be mad about that already know that we're responsible. So,
Yep. You find anything else, Petal?
I just some like really miscellaneous supplies. Most of it's trashed. I don't
I
I don't see anything worth packing up for sure. Oh, you said there's more to explore.
Yeah,
Dan?
there's a couple ladders up onto other areas.
Okay,
Higher spots.
I would definitely like. It looks like this used to be a fort at some point, right?
The map definitely looks like that. I'd say it's more of a primitive village than a fort in reality.
Okay, okay. Never mind. I was say I would like to look for like journals or books or anything, like written, but I don't.
There, you do find a couple books. One of them is written in common. It's talking about their concern about whether or not they're going to be picked up by the terror folk. Terror.
The Emperor Palpatine, like dinosaur, lycanthrope guy.
Yeah, Raka would have probably noticed that and said, yeah, it's the terror folk, terra folk, same difference.
Yeah. Creepy.
Indeed. And as you're exploring, climbing up some of the areas into different higher platforms, you get a better view. And Ball is really small. You have seen most of it at this point, but you got up high enough that you can see over some of the trees.
Yeah.
If you look not southeast, you see more of the area that you previously came from.
Mm-hmm.
I'll one more time show you what I have called Greater Embala, which is that little image of the map. So you are able to see out over the Aldani Basin now, and it's a really, really large body of water, and it's difficult to make out, but you can see that there are some white caps out in the middle of it.
Okay. So probably not crossing it. Probably not taking the plucked monkey across the lake. Maybe around the lake.
That'd probably be a fair assessment. Yeah.
Can we see if there's anything like what might look like a like cart path or even like a slight road around the lake or
the tree foliage between you and it makes that difficult. But you do know that there's probably about a mile of width around that basin on the west side that is clear of most trees. It's kind of more meadow, flatland than it is jungle.
Point that out and be like, hey guys, that the west side may be the easier side. Especially if we have to get out of the lake with the boat.
Makes sense.
When you pull it like a sled.
We get a perception check. You can You can maybe see a little bit more.
Let's see.
18.
Okay.
14.
Okay.
Hang on. There we go.
Right. Buying time for me to load the map.
12.
12? Okay. Alright. All of you are able to see not only the Aldani Basin. Oops, wrong layer. See that red circle that just appeared?
Yes.
It's supposed
Yes.
to be the map layer. There we go. It's kind of a little cut off for you. You can also see another one. That second more southeastern circle is covering an area with a floating chunk of rock that is visibly quite a distance above the jungle treetop below it. And it looks vaguely shaped like a heart.
Oh, yes, the heart of Uptown.
I think I might have a handout for you. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay. Oh, wait, no, I can't show you this. That's okay.
You could.
You will see it at some point.
You could show it to us.
Tell you what, I'll do a screenshot and I'll put it in
No, don't.
Discord.
I'm just giving you a hard time, Dan. Don't even worry about it.
I do kind of want you to see some of it, so let's see here. You check the DM. Just a moment, my internet speed's not so fast. You will see kind of what it looks like, and you'll know what I mean by it's vaguely shaped like a heart. So it's floating, maybe a little bit of water trickling off of it down to the forest below, and it's maybe spinning just very slowly. Apart from that, it's hard to see anything else from your current vantage point, but Raka speaks up, we shall see more as we travel further on the plateau.
Wait, so is that floating in the water or in the sky?
In the sky.
Sky.
And there.
Oh, that's very different. We definitely got to check that out. That looks cool as hell.
It also looks cursed or something.
Right, like what's hold? I want to ask Braca, like what's holding it up in the sky like that?
You guys ask weird questions. I mean, there's definitely cool stuff there. There's no way there's a floating island in the sky that looks like a heart that doesn't have cool stuff.
I don't know what keeps it in the air.
I would have been really impressed if you did. I'm not gonna lie.
They say it's the heart of Uptown.
Well, I got that together.
Are you sure?
Yes, because it's on.
I noticed I was really loud with Rocca's voice last session, so if I'm being kind of loud, let me know and I'll tone it down just a bit. Because I don't know how loud it comes through the mic.
You're good. Ooptow's a god, right?
Yes. Yeah, you learned about him a little bit from the Temple of Savras. Ooptow was the god that kind of ruled, so to speak, over Chult. There's a myth that he had employed someone named Ross Nisi, and then Ross Nisi may or may not have overthrown him.
Ah. That's messed up.
But it is generally believed, by all the rumors that you've heard, that the heart of Ooptow is the fossilized or petrified heart of the god that still dwells in Chult to this day.
I remember that now.
That there may be some interesting power to it, but that is unclear to most people. And frankly, a lot of people don't go this deep into the jungle. They stay at Yanzaru.
I'm telling you guys, there's something there for the taking. I'm sure of it.
Ow.
Think about how few people come this deep in. Just by virtue of that, how many people come this deep in and then, are gutsy enough to go to try to get up to the heart and check it out? I mean, I'm sure people have done it, but they weren't us. We'll be fine.
As you sort of pan around, looking to the west, you can see two things. One, a distant, not extremely distant, but distant set of pillared stones. And through that pillar of stones, there is a dirt path that seems to kind of line up with Rocca's map that he gave you of where you should go. And then just past that, you can see faintly It's a little bit covered up by foliage. There's a strangely like triangular or pyramid shaped structure that is kind of a little bit brown, a little bit gray, a little bit green, kind of covered in a lot of stuff. Definitely mostly obscured from your view, but you can just kind of see it. And Raka says, that's Orolunga. That is the Ziggurat. That is where we should go.
Awesome. I like it. I'm liking it. Lead on, McDuff. I'm gonna hop back up on Sharkan.
This is at this point he says it would be much easier if I had wings. Could fly there.
Yeah, that'd be real nice.
I've heard that there are certain feathers that have magical properties.
Magical properties, you say? Torn to shreds, you say?
As he continues on the path, he chats with you just a little bit, kind of briefly, about how he's been kind of trying to come up with this idea where he might be able to build new wings for himself if he found the right feathers, and then he might be able to glide.
Okay. What would happen if a fellow like myself used these magic feathers? Could I, like, get a little more...
Pep in your step?
Right, a little more vertical with my jumps?
Moonwalking?
He's not sure. That's definitely worth investigating, in his opinion. Certainly, for himself at least.
Yeah, I know. What kind of birds are we talking about here, man? This sounds like a worthwhile side quest, or at least something to keep our eyes open for.
Yeah. By the way, I'm going to open up a little bit more of the map for you. So if you want to watch that, I will be doing that. He says he's not sure that they are birds. That it might actually be something else that has the feathers, but he is missing some information.
Okay.
Dang nabbit. Don't want to get rid of Aldani Basin. I want to get rid of the... There we go.
What did I miss? Rocco wants to build a glider?
He wants to build wings for himself because he's like lamenting to you about how the plight of his species. You know, they used to have wings, but then they lost their wings, and ever since they have been they have been crawling around on the earth like worm food, and there's so much shame for the Kenku that they must walk around on the earth like a worm, and that it would be most pleasing and satisfactory if he could actually have wings again and fly as all birds should.
I feel you. I too would like to fly.
It is at this... It takes you... Let's see here. Do you have any specific plans for how you want to travel to the Ziggurat? Or anything? Do you want to do anything on the way there? Are you moving at normal pace?
So I'm looking at the map, and it kind of looks like Mbala is up on top of a big plateau that then we would have to go down, zigzag between them, and then go over a ravine to get to Orlanga, right?
Yes, that's pretty accurate. In fact, let me reveal just a tiny bit more for you.
Quick question. Are we at Mbala right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
So we have to cross another ravine looking.
Yeah, how steep is that ravine? Is it like something that we can climb down and climb up with our animals, or are we gonna like have to like build a bridge? Like what?
Yeah, are you referring to this one right here?
That's the one, yes.
Okay. Unclear at this point. There's just too much blocking your view to really know.
Okay.
Raka has been over there before, just in his wanderings, and he doesn't think it's very steep, but then he's kind of somebody who doesn't really mind this sort of activity.
Right.
I'm
going to ask him, do you think you could get Winston down it and back up the other side?
Probably not. That sounded weird.
Okay. No, I like it. I like it. Okay.
Okay, but as you're walking through the forest, which is starting to open up a little bit, it's becoming more just like open, flat ground with foliage on it, small bushes and ferns and such. You can now see the pillars of rock ahead of you with ease, and you hear the sound of wings above your head.
Mm-hmm.
You see shadows on the ground in front of you.
Is there like one of the buildings I can like duck under, like a chicken when it sees a hawk?
There's not really any buildings out here, but you could definitely like hide in a bush if you wanted to.
Yep, I want to.
Yep.
Okay.
I would like to hide as well.
I'm gonna let Queen go because she is a little bit wild, so like she can go do your own thing. Stay alive.
Okay. You're not. Well, you're kind of here already, I guess. As you're doing that, you notice that these shadows are coming from creatures that are significantly high up in the air. They're hundreds of feet up in the air. And as the shadows pass over you, one of them is of a creature that has its wings stretched out wide, and it, if you were to use your height as a measuring stick, any one of you would take 2, 3, 4 lengths of your height in order to actually span the wingspan of that shadow.
So we're talking about more of those giant birds that ran off with our goblin, right?
Potentially. Yeah.
Or terrafolk.
Yeah, you would think it's something like that, because you've run into something like this before a few times, usually rather briefly. Without any issue, you manage to you find an area with a little bit better cover, navigate into that, and it's maybe a bit more of a depression. And as you're walking through that valley area, Raka holds up a feather to his lips, signaling that you should cease any chatter and really just be a little bit more silent at this point. There's danger up ahead if you are uncareful. You're careless.
Yeah, probably good time to try to be a little sneaky.
He's going to indicate in front of you. He's going to indicate to the stone pillars, which now are in front of you, and you should be able to see it on the map, correct?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. And he says, I do not know if they are there right now, but this is a place where the terrafolk live.
That would have been good information to have, but okay, thank you.
I think we did know that. Coming in.
I thought the area around Mala was. I didn't know that this was.
This is where I kind of, I just call it Greater Mbala because I don't have another name for it.
Okay, well,
around the Mbala.
then my bad.
Where we are.
No, maybe didn't make it super clear. But the notebook did kind of say just a tiny bit about people being afraid of the terrafolk. So, especially since they're winged creatures, they have sort of large areas that they cover.
That makes sense.
Yeah, he offers you some options. He says, "Well, we can climb down the side of the plateau and go around, but it would take a very long time and it would be very dangerous. Or we can move slowly and quietly along the base of the rocks."
Like that plan.
Yeah, I think we should go back down, pick up Vorn and Winston, and just kind of try to be as stealthy as we can.
Okay? If you want to do that, it's probably going to take almost a full day to get back to Winston and Vorn. And then you're going to travel probably like a good week of travel along the base of the plateau in the jungle.
To get to Ilonga?
Yeah, or Ilonga, yep.
I mean, that makes sense.
Now, he wishes to set you a little bit more at ease, and he says that the terror folk really don't seem to pay attention to the area where they live, not nearly as much as you might think. They've usually eaten most of the prey that's around their nests, so they go off elsewhere in search of food. So it's not likely that they may spot you here because of that. Careful.
The closer we are to danger, the farther we are from harm.
It's the
I don't
last
think that's how that works, but okay.
That's a Pippin quote, isn't it?
Yep.
Yep. Coward.
That sounds like a Pippin quote. Nonsensical. Yeah, like Liz said, nonsensical but uplifting.
As you're discussing, you hear a very faint rustle in the bushes, and out jumps a little rabbit with a unicorn horn on the top of its head, and it's very quietly just hopping towards you. I don't think it doesn't really see you. It's just kind of like doing rabbit things.
I'm not gonna do anything. Sharkan though.
An animal, Sharkan.
Why does it have a horn? Guys, why does it have a horn?
Because it's magical.
Honestly, it's not even like the third weirdest thing we've seen today.
It
Like, let's be
farts
real.
rainbows.
We don't know.
Well, you know,
It farts rainbows.
That's my hypothesis. Okay. In the scientific method I call life.
What's a hypothesis?
What's a hypothesis? Guy is not a scientist.
Clearly, neither is Elvira. She'd know that random guesses are not the same thing as hypotheses.
Another one emerges from a bush as well.
Are they emerging aggressively or like
rabbits?
Kind of just like rabbits, just sniffing for food. But the second one actually startles, and it runs back towards this stump off in the distance, and kind of making like a thumping sound once it gets there, just like, you know, like rabbits do. And you all of a sudden see a bunch of these little rabbits just take off from the bushes and head over to the tree trunk, and you hear this sound, and then you hear something similar to this, but I don't have a better sound.
Okay. I think it's time to hide. Are we hidden already?
Can I follow the rabbits?
No.
You're not hidden.
Okay.
You could follow the rabbits if you want.
I want to follow the rabbits.
I'm not gonna follow the rabbits. I'm gonna hide.
I don't know where they're going.
I'm gonna lead Sharkan under like a tree or a large bush and hunker down.
There's one over here that's big enough you could definitely hide.
Perfect.
Using him for protection.
Hide in that bush.
For Sharkan, I'm also using him to get around faster. He's a mount. That's his job. He's fantastic at it. I don't understand what your issue is.
Raka is also going to.
I'm gonna hide in the bush closest to me.
Andra's gonna.
I'm
stick
sorry.
by
There's not enough room.
Lyra. All right, let's get a perception check from you guys.
Oh, a perception or a stealth check?
I am just looking for perception at the moment.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
17.
Nice.
Hey! Ignore that. That was persuasion. Ten.
10?
14.
Oh, 14. You were cut off, sorry. Petal sees a shadow moving on the ground towards that stump. And at first it's traveling like horizontally. Then all of a sudden the kind of silhouette of it changes. And now it's more slowly moving towards it.
Okay.
And then you hear another woof. Oops. Wait. What did I just do? There we go. You hear another woof of wings. And down comes this giant creature, and it picks up one of the rabbits in one foot, and it picks up another in the other, and then it takes off into the air. And you hear little rabbit screams.
Should we try to pick one of you guys off real quick, or should we just keep moving stealthily?
Keep moving. It's the circle of life.
No, I'm just saying, like, if we think we're gonna have to fight these guys eventually, maybe like scaring some rabbits out and taking one down real quick isn't the worst.
Couldn't like Winston help us out?
Against these things that fly, probably not.
Okay. So you can just be like massive and just like use his head like a battering ram.
We gotta
That's
hide
where it
behind
came
him.
from, and this is the way it went.
Smacking folks away. Just
That makes sense. That was
And were these
route
about
to
the
go.
size of a man or larger, or like what size would this creature be?
This is significantly larger than a man. It has a 20-foot wingspan,
Okay.
and it's probably a good like 8 feet tall if it were standing like a human.
Wait, and there's just one of them, right?
Just one at this point.
Oh, maybe we should have taken it. Okay, so
So these are size large creatures, right?
You really haven't lost your opportunity to shoot it. I was just narrating.
okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say next time it comes back around, see if you can't get a shot on the way in. That would just like take it out quick.
I'll allow that if you want to do it now.
Okay.
Because a lot of that was just, role play. And so I don't want to detract from your agency because I'm describing what's going on.
Yeah, no worries. If he's coming in, looks like he's coming in for a landing, I'll definitely try to. Alright, so
Sounds
first
good.
attack. Does a 22 hit?
It does. Let me pull up my thing. There we go. Alright.
That'll be the first attack will do 8 piercing damage and 6 cold damage. The second attack does a 14 hit.
Yes.
That'll be 8 piercing damage and 7 cold damage.
Okay. You put one shot into it, and as it's trying to take off with the little rabbits and its legs, now it's struggling. It's flapping one wing harder than the other, but it's starting to list, and you hear "Rah!" come out of its beak. But as it starts to do that, your second shot impacts the head. Thud. It goes silent and poof, drops on the ground. And probably the most gruesome part of it all is it fell onto one of the horns of the rabbits and is now impaled on a rabbit, which is desperately trying to get out, but is stuck. And is kind of like flopping around on the ground. It breaks free and peels off into a different bush. You took care of that one terrafolk.
Okay.
You know what, y'all? I bet these wings would make fantastic sails for the boat.
That's a thought.
You can make like a little parasail thing out of the thin wings.
I like
These
your
things are
guys'
real
ingenuity.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, like,
I'm fine with just knocking it out of the air and going on.
I'm gonna lean over to Raka and ask him, "Hey, Raka,
Rah, yes.
I know we were talking about making wings earlier. Are you good with stealing those, or like, do you want to make them yourself?
He puts a feather to his chin and starts stroking his feather beard, and gives it a thought. And he says, "I think those are too big for me, but I could take parts. It would take a while." He's interested. He thinks about it, and basically his conclusion is, if the area wasn't, if he knew the area was safe enough, he would probably take some time to like dissect them and maybe take some of the bones, because they would make like really reasonable lightweight structures to build the wings on.
Okay.
At least that's what Dan would do in real life.
make Icarus wings out of real wings.
Right.
I mean, I got a +4 to survival. Let's do this. Let's or we can just take the wings now. We'll roll them up. We'll get them curing. We're gonna fight more of these things. If you want to start grabbing big bones, or just like take the big long bones out of the wings or something, we're gonna get.
Thinking. Yeah.
All right.
It'd probably take about a half hour to do that if you're willing to spend the time.
I am, and I rolled a 12 on my survival check.
Yeah. You're able to take your hunter knife. I'm sure you have a hunting knife or something like that. Something small, and just make your intuition just seems to be on point with this. You neatly slice along the canvas right by the bones, and are able to extract them with relative ease. Go ahead.
How long is a short rest again?
Gosh, I always misremember it as 30 minutes, so I can't remember.
Okay, so it's not 30 minutes.
Well, I have to Google it because I can't remember.
I can't remember either. I think that's also one of the most commonly like homebrew thing. Like I feel like I've played with multiple people and they've all had a different idea of what constitutes a short rest.
Google says 1 hour, so we'll go with 1 hour.
Okay.
It's enough time to get a short nap in, right? Yes. Now, does anyone want to know what these little rabbits are? You have.
Yes, definitely. And can we?
I will look through the book.
What was that, Zach?
Said, and I want to know if we can eat them.
Oh, well, you definitely could eat them. Your Volo's Guide to Monsters tells you that it's called an almiraj, spelled A-L-M-I-R-A-J. Almiraj. It's a large, timid rabbit with a 1 foot long spiral horn emerging from its forehead, not unlike the horn of a unicorn. And Volo's Guide says that if it's driven to attack, it will spear enemies with its horn. They are not native to Chult. They were brought here a long time ago. And they breed like rabbits in Chult.
So I'm hearing invasive species.
You should take them out.
I would like to find out if their horns are valuable. I also want to check the list of alchemy reagents that the alchemist gave me.
Yeah, the horn powder of a broken Almiraj horn is said to bring some sort of essence of luck to the user.
Oh, we're gonna get us some horns, boys and girls.
Sometimes that luck is a little bit subjective, but it doesn't hurt. You know, sprinkle a little bit of it in your food before you go, talk to an affluent merchant, and maybe you might strike a better deal than you otherwise would have.
Yeah, we're gonna. Pedal's like, you can just see the wheels spinning. He's like, man, just like, let's go fight, get real lucky.
There's a dead one that just did not survive the impact of the terrafolk falling on it.
I want to I'll definitely harvest that horn for sure. I would like to roll survival preferably with like some assistance from somebody, to set up like snares and traps. Like this is something I would like to have. It would nice to be just a little more lucky.
I'm going
like
to.
as a fae, for sure.
I'll definitely assist Petal in that.
Thank you. We are all going to be so much more lucky.
I had to do my fair share of rabbit trapping back home too.
It was an 11 with advantage. I rolled a 5 and I rolled a 4. Or 5 and a 7 or something like that, yeah.
What is 11 minus 4?
So what was your highest roll again?
11.
Okay. Yeah, you're you are able to set up some primitive-esque they would be like green bow snares with some string and bent boughs of branches. Maybe you found a convenient little hole in the ground that would make an excellent pit trap, and so you set up some spikes in it and then laid some leaves over top, that sort of thing.
Okay.
That took you probably a good 25 minutes to half hour to set up.
All right.
As it is now, you're noticing that the light is starting to get a little bit dimmer on the horizon.
Right, I was just saying, it's going to take us a full day to get back down to Winston and Vorn. You guys just want to, like, set up camp here?
I'll set up camp while y'all do your trappy things.
Right. Because, like, we could really use some luck powder some days, guys.
You want a survival check for that?
If you want to set up camp, yes. And depending on how good it is, you might find some other stuff, too.
Dirty 20.
Okay. Here's what you find. Elvira, with some minor scouting, you find a really nice cutout concavity in one of the rocks over here. I'll mark it on the map.
Yeah. So tomorrow morning.
Just like that. Oh, is that visible to you? Are you able to see that red?
Not so much.
Mm-mm.
Let's move that to the map layer. How about now?
I think it might be a lighting issue. Hang on, let me
you
move.
behind the dynamic lighting?
Oh, yes. Let me repair that real fast here.
I can just drop Sharkon places.
There we go. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, so that red is the concavity. And Elvira, just down below it, you find a little sack. Just a leather sack that's just sitting there. And then also, I'll let you investigate it, but I also want you to know, you find a few scattered bones of miscellaneous creatures down at the bottom of these rocks. That is what you find with that roll. Say again?
Do I find any rabbit horns in the bone pile?
Oh, why don't we roll for that? Let's see if you do. Just roll I guess just a straight D20. See, tell me what you get. We'll leave it up to chance.
1d4 minus 2.
14.
Yes, you find one.
Nice. Okay, so I do want to keep like a half of an ear out for anything that might have hunted these while I set up camp. But I'm gonna set it up right where like that little red alcove area is. So like I know everyone looks like they're standing. Is everyone actually standing there as I'm trying to get a camp set up?
No, we're all setting up traps and stuff.
Okay, well then.
Um,
I'm right where Elvira is on that rock. I'm gonna set up camp below that.
Okay. Why don't you explain to me what you're gonna do for camp here? Oh, I need to bring Rocket and Cassandra over.
Well, I'm gonna get some shelter set up. By bringing over some like boughs from the surrounding shrubs and trees and stuff. First, I'm gonna get a fire going though, so I have that going while I do everything, and maybe just like one wall of a structure, like right on the outside of those rocks, so we can all kind of camp in that little area. Does that make sense? Like, think
Yes.
super bushcraft.
Yes.
And then, okay, this is dust sliding. I see this now because I was like,
Yes.
why did it get all foggy looking? But, right, so...
That is because night is basically falling on you. As it's taken a little bit of time to do these actions.
Can I draw lines too? Oh, I can. Hold on. Okay.
You can, yes. Yes.
So I'm going to have a little bow, wall going on right there.
Okay, so sort of some visual cover. Is that what you're going for?
Yeah.
Ah, excellent idea.
And to make any kind of windbreak and just to keep us, in this little area.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Before dusk fully comes on, you can see in the distance some dark clouds rolling in.
I would like to set up our. I know we have multiple rain catching equipment. I would like to set those up to use as both visual cover, shelter, and to catch us some fresh drinking water. Is there a way to where we can set those up and then hang out underneath them or overlap a couple of them? Because I know I have two to myself.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And in fact, you have a little bit of canvas from those wings that you disassembled. You could probably make a lean-to roof out of it.
Oh yeah.
I think I'll do that.
I have so much ridiculous.
With my dirty
cool
20,
stuff.
I can do anything in the world.
Elvira, the sack that you noticed that you've kind of just let sit there.
Yes.
Notice that it's closed, but there seems to be a dim light kind of coming out of it.
No, I'm gonna immediately go open it.
You open it up, and there's a bottle of amber liquid, very, very small one, just sitting in there.
Is the bottle what's glowing?
Yes.
Can I
it's emitting
cast
a little
detect
dim light.
magic, please?
Does alchemy count as magic? I don't know if it does.
If it's a potion, you can finger dip and taste it and find out what it does.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
At least rules is right.
I'm not gonna taste it. I'm gonna sniff it first, and then I'll taste it if I can't figure out anything.
When you taste the little drop on your tongue, your vision gets a little bit clearer and brighter in the darkness, and then it fades.
That's so cool. I'm gonna tuck it right down into my shirt.
Where all the secret things go.
Am I what?
Yeah, where all the secret things go.
Exactly.
So, out of game, this is a home-brewed potion of dark vision that would last for 10 minutes if drank by anybody who doesn't have dark vision.
That's super cool.
Nice, that's handy.
Out of game. I need a grab holding real bad.
This bag is a satchel.
Ooh, even better.
So it's got a nice long strap that you could throw over your shoulder. It seems in pretty good condition though. It's getting wet in this rain.
No, I'm gonna bring it over next to the fire, which is kind of tucked up under the rock wall.
Yeah.
And Rock
But
is
don't
gonna
put it too close to the branch wall, obviously.
Rocka brings over some food for dinner, and he's going to discuss with you the rest of the trip. And he says, well, firstly, he's a little surprised that you didn't run into any more Terrafolk over here. Generally, they're known to kind of occupy this region, but they are not creatures that always stay in one place. They can be somewhat nomadic. So he says it's just, in general, just don't make a whole lot of noise or... I'm gonna wait for him to come back, because it looks like they accidentally disconnected. I bet you they, kicked the power button or something.
Yep.
Let's, I'm gonna... There we go.
Sorry about that.
I figured it was an accident. So to pick up where it was, he says in general, try not to make a whole lot of noise or draw any attention to yourselves. because the Terrafolk can see for miles when they're flying, and they're known to pick up their prey, and sometimes just drop them for sport. So
Sounds horrifying.
Sounds like an animal.
I would like to task Tavoke with running around going after these unicorn bunnies.
As the rain has been coming down, the Almirage have dissipated from the area. You don't see him anymore. But the Vogue, he's a small creature still. You're a creature.
Go down a rabbit hole, probably. He's like a big iguana.
I think he probably could. After a little while, night has fallen completely, and it's pitch black. But he comes back with a Almirage in his jaws, and he plops it down underneath your lean-to. And if I were to give you a time of day, it's roughly about 6 p.m.
Okay.
I want an iguana so bad. My friend's iguana got caught under their
I've been
thing the
using
other
my
day.
clock. It's really coming in handy. Also using a stopwatch in the hopes that it'll help me kind of keep track of time a little bit better. Anywho, he drops that at your feet, and kind of looks up at you expectantly, like, "Did I do a good job, Master?"
Great job. Great, fantastic.
If you don't have any plans for the night, I'll just take the normal 3 perception checks for your night watch.
For sure.
Oh.
I'll go first.
Go ahead. I'm definitely going to be
Only
like
a 9. Very
polishing
cool
off
one,
these
though.
horns and cooking up some magic rabbit stew for breakfast stew. So just gotta pop that bad boy on the fire. It's gonna
Nice.
be fantastic.
19.
Okay. 1 second while I place a light for your campfire. There you go. I don't know if that worked. Oops. I just placed a second one by accident. 19, you said?
Yep.
Okay. And
8.
8.
Hey, you're worse than I am.
14, 22, and 8. Okay.
No, I got a 9.
Oh, you got a 9?
Yeah, not a 22.
Oh, I thought you had that 14.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
It was Guy's 14, Elvira's 9,
I had 19.
and Petal is 8.
Okay.
So 19, 9, and 8.
Okay.
Good job. Thanks for keeping us safe while me and her just goof off all night, apparently.
Screwing off, yeah.
Yeah, during the 2 lower number scores watches, they, you really just don't hear anything. I mean, the rain's cleared up. There's lots of crickets in this area. Seems quite tranquil, actually. Maybe the most that you've, the nicest sleeping conditions you've run into so far. There's a really, really enjoyable faint breeze that's blowing cool air, and finally, like, ever since that one time when Cassandra got kidnapped at night, that was the best night you had spent, where you felt like really super comfortable. This has beaten that by far. It's like perfect sleeping conditions. The ground is nice and soft. There's some good, there's some thick leaf beds that you were able to nestle into. Though as you were sleeping, one or two of you may or may not have woken up in the night to a stir because you found like a couple ants crawling on you, but brush them off and fall back asleep.
Ooh, are they fire ants?
This is why I sleep in hammocks off the ground. It's just
You don't have ants in South Dakota?
I'm not sure.
I got bit on the foot as I was standing next to my sister as a bridesmaid at her wedding.
Ow.
3
Ow.
times.
Not cool.
My held face like a champ.
I have my own story about fire ants. Yeah. So I think I was like 6 or something, and I was on the golf course with my dad. My dad plays a lot of golf, and he he used to bring me a lot when I was real little. And I was too little to like play golf, right? So I just sat in the cart and helped people with their clubs and stuff. So we were at the end. I was feeling really bored, so I sat down. And I sat down in a massive fire ant pile.
Because that looks okay. So when you're younger, they look big and sturdy because they are massive. I tried to ramp a bike on one time, and then stuck my foot down inside of the ant.
Oh no!
So ants would be great D&D creatures. Fire ants specifically would be great D&D creatures because you don't have to homebrew anything. They are vicious. They stick together and float.
Well,
Yeah.
do you guys remember outside of
There-
Yelyark, there were the giant ants?
Yes, and I was thinking about fire ants when I did that, but you can have tiny ones. 'Cause
Giant-
they leave
mini
like
giant
little
ants.
blister pimples too. Like my whole leg was covered in tiny blister pimples.
Oh man, that sounds terrible.
They are terrible.
They are a blight upon the earth.
I still have one more perception check, and that was the really
Sorry, I
good
didn't
one.
mean to.
And I don't
ADD
remember who
on
that
that.
was. Was that Eli who got the? You got the best.
He got
roll?
the best one. He got 19.
Okay. You hear far above you the sound of wings again during the night. It takes the sound continues for about 10 minutes, and it's this mass of many winged creatures, and some intuition in the back of your mind told you to quick put out the fire and to lay it completely still and to not make any noises. Don't awake the rest of them. And the wings passed over you just without any issue, and
Ooh,
dissipate
that was like-
in that 10 minutes.
Thanks for not waking me up, guy, like I did that one time with you.
And you wake up the next morning, and Raka has relit the fire and has started cooking some more of that rabbit for you.
Nice.
Brah. Good morning.
I
Brah.
wonder if I hit one with a firebolt, if it would just cook it while it killed, like at the same time it killed it. It's like, phew, automatically cooked rabbit.
I mean, it probably would. It probably would.
And imagine
I
the
just
skin would have
remembered
something to say about
something.
that.
Right, like would cook
Were you-
the guts too.
Really, you would just need to like skin one and put it on a spit, and then I'll just walk through, whack, whack, whack. And it's a cantrip, so I really can.
Every
Hey,
6
Petal.
seconds, just ka-ja, ka-ja, ka-ja.
As you're sleeping, you have a very unnerving dream that is you at first kind of chalk it up to having being wakened up by those insects that were like crawling on you and biting you in the middle of the night. But the dream, it's oddly real feeling. Nothing in the dream seems like out of place, like you would normally feel in a dream, where you like wake up and you're like, oh, I'm glad that wasn't real, and I know it wasn't real. This felt like you were actually there. You are in some sort of chamber, and there is lava, in the distance, kind of all around you, and you are struggling to shout at Guy, who is getting dangerously close to the lava, and the whole time you feel like Guy is just about to slip off of this ledge and fall to his death and be burned alive. But Guy seems to not be able to hear you every time you try to speak to him. And when you wake up, you have this sense that what you experienced was not fiction per se, as much as maybe a warning of what could be to come.
Okay. I'm definitely gonna tell a guy like, hey, listen, man, I just had a premonition. You got to stay away from lava. I figured that probably didn't need to be said,
Yeah,
just
no,
like heads up, lava's bad for you.
like how specifically. Also, good morning.
Good morning to you. Good morning to you. I don't know where this date's gonna take us. It's just very important that you remember lava is no good. I
that's
had
so
a dream where you kept getting closer and closer to the edge, and I was like, "Yo, man, back up, back up, back up, back up!" And we just like kept going, and
That
you were
does
gonna
not
fall
sound
in.
like me.
Actually, now that I'm awake, that does not sound like you at all. So, you're right. You're right. But still, just in case you had forgotten somehow, just remember, lava's not where it's at. In fact, if you see lava, let's just buddy system.
It's like CMD Angie. Don't let go.
All right.
Isn't he the one that almost falls in?
They all almost fall into something.
You guys want to take a 5-minute break now or in a little bit?
In a little
doing
bit.
5 minute now. I'm doing whatever.
Take a quick
Whatever
break.
was the
Grab a
DM.
snack. I'm gonna figure out what happens next.
Coolio.
Hey,
say about Eli's mom being high?
All right. We return. Whoa. That's not exactly the music that I thought I was playing.
Is there anything? 1 second, everyone. I have to correspond with this one real quick. Privately.
Let's see. That's no problem. I'm trying to... I like cheery music, but it's not exactly like what I had in mind for what we're about to do.
It is messed up, empty hole.
There we go. That's reasonable. Turn the music up. Okay.
You got it. Wait, don't stick it all the way away.
What is your plan now that you've woken up? I believe you've killed or harvested or trapped 3 Almirage.
Okay. I get to 30.
I definitely want to like. So you said we trapped another 3.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that puts me up 5 horns.
And then I found one.
Yes. Yes, you did.
But I'm keeping it so I can sell it.
And you could just add to your inventory, you know, Almirage horn or dust if you've made it into dust.
Not yet. I haven't had the time. I feel like that's something I'm gonna need like a mortar and pestle for. I'm gonna have to talk to my.
Exactly.
We're gonna have to get really creative or talk to my alchemist friend.
Yeah, you're gonna have one happy alchemist friend when you get back.
Mm-hmm.
You got quite the collection. As you're eating breakfast, Raka is interested in your collection of ingredients. He asks what you have.
Well, I traded some stuff, but I got some giant spider venom. I got the Almirage horn, some assassin vine seed pods, but I think I want to plant those when I like build my ranger hideout or something. I got a bunch of spices that I use. Got that crocodile leather, flying monkey feathers that I collect from Maximus.
Rah, monkey feathers? Rah.
They make fantastic fletchings. I got a bag of gourmet mushrooms. I got the petals from this, the pristine petals from this flower that the alchemist wanted. Snail trail shards, the shards from the flail snail.
Flail snail trail shards.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's say that 5 times fast.
Got some spider fangs, some spider soap, some more spider venom. I got a vial of ectoplasm, and I have 10 bottles of 100-year-old wine.
Woo! Raka would like to see the flying monkey feathers.
I'll pull out my bag. I got like a little like cloth, piece of cloth that I have them wrapped up in.
He's gonna ask you if you're willing to part with those.
I mean, I can always get more, as you know.
Yeah, he'd like to give you like. He's gonna offer you a bag of 10 gold that he has on him if you want to part with him.
I tell you what. I keep this bag because I make my own arrow fletchings. So, but like this will last me for a while. So if you want, you can just come and like wherever Maximus is sleeping, like he grooms himself. So it'll just be like a pile. If you just want to start scooping those up, and like if I need to get some for arrows, I'll let you know. But if you just want to like, don't worry about any gold or anything. If you just want to start collecting those to make your wings, you totally can.
Oh, he loves that idea. He says, "Thank you, Petal, my friend. I think these could be instrumental in creating wings."
I I don't know about wings, but they do make fantastic fletchings.
He thanks you again, packs away a few that he picked off the ground already, and he asks if you're ready to go. He will lead the way.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. And he says that I aim to make it to Orolunga today. With good speed, we shall make it there.
Today, I thought it was going to take like a week to get there.
I'm kind of skipping a little bit of the actual time just to expedite things. But yes, you're correct.
Okay, cool. Then yeah, lead on, sir. Lead on.
I'm gonna mark the map, the big map, to show you how far you've come. Zoom in. All right. Oh, not what I clicked. Okay, I guess I'm drawing a new line. Roll20 is great, but sometimes it's a little finicky for how you do things. Alright, so that yellow line was you getting to Mbala last session. And this yellow line is how far you've actually made it in today's session. So you follow?
Yep.
Okay. He's aware of at least a set of ruins on the way to Orolunga that he can remember, but they're long deserted. Not really anything of interest there, that at least that he's aware of. So he's going to say we're gonna pass through that probably at about midday, and then towards the end of the day we will be approaching that canyon that you spoke of earlier, that you inquired about. So
Okay.
once you get to that canyon, it's probably going to slow your travel considerably the next day, and you definitely, unless you have a death wish, probably don't want to descend or ascend that canyon at night.
Right. How far across is the canyon?
It's several hundred feet.
Okay, so like we're probably not building a bridge across.
Maybe not. I don't know. Depends on what kind of approach you have, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's been a long time since he's been there, so it's a little hard for him to remember it perfectly. He's a reasonable guide, but he also tends to spend more time up by his tribe than down here, so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe some of his knowledge is not quite the most up-to-date, but takes you a few hours. You woke up at roughly what would be equivalent of 7 a.m. And about 9 a.m., you've passed through what is rapidly becoming a rather dry and dusty and stony portion of the plateau. There's really not a whole lot of life here. And it's maybe not so obvious on the map, but as far as, bless you, as far as you can see around you, all you see is plateau. If you did move up to the edge and take a slight detour, you could probably see over it. But coming up within the next mile or two, it gets taller. So Raka points out that you're probably going to be able to see a little bit more of Chult in there. But it's...
Oh, why? The dry and dusty is a nice break from the soaking wet jungle.
The sun's coming down a little bit harder up here, I would say, just because there's nothing really to block it. But yeah, it's definitely a dry heat instead of a hot, wet heat, like down below. There's really not a whole lot of breeze today to be spoken of. So This
There
would
ain't
be
a breeze in the whole state of Louisiana.
this would be if we were like actually super keeping track of food and water. You would need to definitely nourish yourselves, or else you'd probably receive a point of exhaustion.
I mean, we have that alchemy jug, right?
Yeah,
We do.
but that requires water to.
Yeah, you have to put water in to get anything
Mm.
out. Now, is there a way I can keep track of? I think if I'm gonna roleplay the alchemy jug, that means like I'm gonna have to have water on hand at that moment, because there's no way that Liz Kennedy is gonna be able to keep track of whether there is water or not.
Right.
You have water you
I can't
collected
even
from
do
last
spells and money. So
time. Yes.
now,
You
I mean,
collect
like,
some
I'm
rainwater.
cool, because I think what I could do is I could have collected rainwater. Can I retcon and say I did that?
Well, I thought you did. Didn't you
We
both?
did. We set up the rain
Oh,
collectors.
that's right, rain collectors. Okay. I meant like set the pot out, but if we have rain collectors, don't worry about it. But like, could I even hold on? Let me read it. Could I even take like murky, like maybe not good at initially drinking water, put it in, and then get?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure that was like the idea of it,
That's
right?
one of the
Like
benefits.
this
yeah.
is the D&D, hiking straw things.
I don't know about that.
Life straw.
Yeah, except life straws don't make wine either. So I can either do
It's the better life
does
straw.
it make purified water?
wine, salt water, fresh water,
Oh, it
vinegar,
does make
oil,
fresh water.
mayonnaise,
It can
which I'm
make
sure
honey.
Puddle loves,
Ugh.
honey, beer, basic poison, or acid. A virus
Nice.
living off beer. But it's 4 gallons, so I'm pretty sure we could all live off beer, actually.
I like Goodberry for food.
It does have carbs in it.
We are the bougiest campers ever. We
Between
get like
Goodberry and this jug, like...
Well-
even Jesus is asking to be on the team at this point, shoot.
Trying to think of what I want to do.
Jesus.
Okay. He's going to point out the new higher level of the plateau ahead of you, and he says that he has heard of rumors that there might be Aarakocra that live there, and that they are fiercely territorial. They also are not friends with the Terrafolk. So that could work in your favor or against you, depending on how you roll with it.
Now, Aarakocra can be found, like, on the Sword Coast and in Faerun, right? Correct?
Yes, and
Okay,
they,
so Elvira would know.
they're bird people. They're
What
like
they
they're
are,
a
right.
species, yeah.
you would in general know that Aarakocra really don't want to associate with humans. And I think that would
Y'all smell
probably
bad.
it probably apply to elves too. They mostly stick to their own kind.
But
They
you
don't
probably
like-
smell like us at this point.
They don't like civilization, and they tend to have high, lofty places full of their own kind. They definitely think very highly of themselves. They're fiercely territorial. They're large, very big. They're not big like
Even
the
hummingbirds?
Terrafolk, but they're big for humanoids.
Cool.
Probably best to avoid them.
Okay.
But I will have you know, I smell like fall.
You
all
smell
the
like
time.
humans now.
Nope, I permanently smell like the fall.
Guy, rub your pits on him.
I will set you on
I'm gonna
fire.
hold him
in your
down. Come on,
sleep.
let's see your pits.
Elvira, you're crazy.
Get like the inside of your armor, like a shin protector in soccer, and just like caress.
Are you trying to make him
Why?
like human?
Each and every one of you to Sharkan, one piece at a time.
Raka is also a little bit timid because he's Kenku, so he's definitely not. He doesn't look like an eagle. Looks like a raven, so that ravens and eagles don't really get along very well.
Fair.
He's going to recommend that you take the shortcut that passes south of that location. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see as much if you're trying to scout the jungle if you go that way.
seriously
note-
though, like I know we joke a lot, but like I think if we're serious about what we're doing, seriously, if we're serious about what we're doing, and we go through there and be like, hey, we like seriously don't want any trouble. Like we're just trying to get in and get out. Like we want to respect you. You know what I mean? Like I don't think we should have too much of an issue.
Right, I think as
Now,
long as
like
we're cool.
when we understand like why they would be unhappy with us there, and like we need to keep going. Like we don't want to stay either. Seriously.
And
You know,
I think
you
it probably-
may camp out your.
You could probably see like 100 miles if you got to the best vantage point on this plateau, which is
Right, and that's why I
probably
really
pretty
want to go that way because, like, it is just so important, you know.
Yeah, we could see we could really see and kind of like map our route
As we go,
to get to the heart.
but hopefully, no, I'm not saying any promises. You know, we might even get to camp on their outskirts tonight. Who knows?
I wouldn't bank on that.
But we'll try not to. Pinky
So,
promise.
You're going to take the diplomatic route, sort of
Yes.
or the persuasive route or something like that.
I
Yeah.
would say diplomatic.
I can be very diplomatic. It's one of
I
my.
think diplomatic is inherently persuasive, so
You
you
are
know.
an emissary. That's what you excel at.
It is kind of my thing.
Okay. Raka, he thinks on it for a moment. Rah. If you think you can do it, then I will lead you there. Follow me. And he now breaks off on a different path, heading a little bit more north than the one you were following. That leads to that higher area.
Cool.
It takes you a few hours to climb this area. It's a good 11 o'clock in the morning. High noon is rapidly approaching.
Do you mind pinging on the map where we are about-ish?
Sure, it's hard to show since it's so small. But you know what? I'll put a little circle.
Or dot?
That circle
Okay, cool.
is where the Aarakocra would be.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, good thinking. I had it in my head, but I didn't think about it. As you come up over the top, you encounter a few ramshackle stone walls that are definitely they've seen better days, and the terrain is no longer quite as dry. Uh-oh, did we lose him?
No, I'm right here. I just turned my camera off for a
Okay.
second.
Lost my train of thought for a moment. You're entering an area that is a little bit more lush, not quite as dry. Moving into another different biome. This is like the high mesa forest sort of biome.
You said there's like rock walls?
Yeah, there's some rock walls at the, right on the edge of this elevated pad, so to speak. And
Might
your
be
pathway
stupid.
goes through a broken doorway, broken gateway.
Okay, so the stone walls are being made, human-made, man-made,
Yeah, they're definitely
Okay.
artificial.
like natural climbing. Okay.
Right.
I wonder who put these here. Like Aarakocra fly, so what would they need walls for? Probably to keep us out. People like us, at least.
There's some trees up here. They're not the same kind as down below in the jungle. They're more like what you would actually expect on a mountain. Kind of like actual conifers, like pine trees or spruce. So that's fir, that sort of thing.
Weird.
They're needled trees, and
We're pretty high up.
as you're gazing forward, you actually can see the mountains, the Mistcliff Mountains, which you know to be much further west of you, just off in the distance, almost in a little bit of a haze, as it's still morning and there's a little bit of fog burning off, and there's snow-capped peaks on those mountains. As you're looking around,
Miss the mountains. And the
Understandable.
snow-capped peaks.
mountains are
They remind
amazing.
It reminds me of home.
I could go for a roll in the snow, given just how hot it's been here.
Oh, just a nice sled, you know?
You notice a few hundred feet down the path, a being steps out onto the path and starts slowly walking to you. And it stands about, you'd guess about 8 feet tall. It definitely has some wings tucked up behind its back. And it's holding a spear. Not holding it out as if it's going to attack you, but holding it more like a walking stick.
I would like to behave in the most respectful, like the most like approachable, normal, like respectful manner that I can. And I would like to speak Sylvan. I'm gonna guess that they probably speak Sylvan.
Let me double check because I don't remember.
Or that like
I think we should all stop and wave. Just
or I'll just like cycle through Sylvan, Elvish, Draconic, Common until I find a language that they speak. But I would like to introduce myself as Emissary Petal, and say that we respectfully request to negotiate for, or we would like to discuss traveling through your territory on our way to Ormu and back.
The Sylvan gets through to the one that approached you. He comes up and he basically just stands with it like this right in front of him, as if he shows no fear. He's also not necessarily being menacing. He's more of just like he's acting like your average city guard.
Okay.
He's just standing there, imposingly.
Yes. It takes a moment for him to really understand what you're talking about, even though you speak the same language. And he informs you that this is Aarakocra land. It is sacred, and you must abide by their laws if you are here, and that people of your kind are generally not permitted to walk through the sacred lands.
oh, laws that people normally break because they just don't know. Because we've never been to Chult. I've never been to an Aarakocra community before.
Right. I want to ask him what the laws are.
That's like
yeah.
normal for me, right?
I would like to explain that we fully intend to be respectful of their laws and customs.
But we have made that faux pas before, even as a team.
Yeah, it's like a
maybe
it's
not
like a slightly more tribal form of like the same kind of rules you'd follow if you were going through a national forest or something like that. It's like stay on the path, don't disturb the wildlife. You go through these areas, but you don't go through those areas. Like, there's a certain time of day. Like you do not travel at dawn or dusk. It's just that's not permitted. Wait until it's fully day. There are certain animals that you are not allowed to hunt. That sort of thing. And as long as you pass through with one of their kind to observe and make sure that you abide by the rules, then there won't be a problem. Though he is not necessarily very excited to see a Kenku on his land. He's eyeing Raka with an air of suspicion.
How's Raka reacting?
Raka is nervous.
I would like to make a persuasion check and like essentially vouch for Raka and like describe his like commitment to the land. And I mean, he's a druid, and like we've talked about him being a druid. So like I'd like to be like, hey man, like of all the people you might have an issue with, this guy is gonna be the least problematic. He's already here for it.
Yeah. Why don't we do a roll for that one? Let's see.
Got a good roll.
Yeah, and I got a bad roll, so it looks like you're going to be successful in persuading him that Raka is really not a bad guy, and that he's actually going to he's actually going to leave the place better than he found it. He's
going to help us.
Really,
Right.
It's arguable that their perception of Kenku is going to be significantly improved on meeting Raka.
Okay.
So, maybe they're not as bad of a bird folk as the Aarakocra had believed, but there's definitely a little bit of history between the two of them. Generally, the ravens are kind of aggressive towards the eagles, and that extends to the bird folk as well. So, he's not 100% sold, but he's convinced enough that Raka is going to be decent.
Okay.
Not the complete barbarian that he expected. No, civilized,
Right.
but not a complete barbarian.
Right. Man, he like showers and stuff. It's fine.
He's gonna lead you along not path, I guess I would say, through the ruins of this old civilization, to the foot of a very tall tree, and he's going to call up with his eagle voice. I cannot do an eagle voice. I should not try. It would sound terrible. I don't have the vocal cords for that.
Did you know that, like, in movies and stuff, when they make the eagle noise, it's not an eagle, it's a
Actually,
red-tailed hawk?
A hawk, yep.
I think
Eagles
I
have
heard
a terrible scream.
Eagles-
That sounds awful.
Eagles have it's bad. Like, it's not...
Majestic in the slightest.
It's not. It's terrifying. If you're, like, on the water and you hear, like, the eagle cry, you're like, ooh, someone's getting fish. Like, or someone's dog, if it's small enough.
Yeah.
I think I had heard that. I had forgotten though. He calls up twice, and within a few seconds, you hear the wings sound, and down lands a somewhat shorter Aarakocra. Either it's a youthful male or it's a female. You can't tell. They're birds. Hard to know. They hold a very brief little conversation in their own language, their native language, and then the shorter one turns towards you and has, it doesn't have a spear, it has a bow on its back with a quiver, and it, without a word, leads you back to that path, when the other one flies up into the tree and is lost to sight.
I would like to try to engage this one in just like some general conversation. Like, I'd like to ask about like their customs and
How long have your people been here?
yeah, just like is there like respectfully, what can you share about your people, and explain that like part of my job, part of my reason for being out here is to make contact with entities that might be interested in some sort of relationship with the Harlequin Court.
To your dismay, this one does not understand your speech.
Bummer.
Yeah. At least not Sylvan.
I'm assuming I would try Common, Elvish, and Draconic. I don't think he speaks Infernal, which is my fourth language. And generally speaking, people don't like it when you start speaking Infernal. Kind of learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
I just wanted to read some cool stuff that I found. It turns out when you start speaking like that, people freak out.
Well, if you speak the language of hell, basically, it's
The
not,
devil language, yeah.
Not surprising that people would not be fond of that. He He or she does not respond to any of the languages that you have tried.
Bummer.
But instead, gives that same eagle speech back to you, and continues leading you through what is now becoming a dense glade of trees.
Okay.
Leaving the ruins behind. And as you continue, you are passing through an area that is rapidly becoming more and more full of trees. Except for one spot. Pass into a clearing. And it's roughly circular shaped. And inside of that circle, there are 0 trees except for one.
Ooh, special tree. Petal wants to look at the special tree.
Are you, what do you want to do? Like, do you just
Can I
want to go
use...
look at it?
My nature is actually not that great. Can I use survival? If not, that's okay.
I don't think survival really applies.
That's fair. That's very fair.
As he's doing this, I'm gonna lean over to the guy and be like, I think I should use Petal as my detect magic before I cast detect magic, and use it that whole spell slot. Just gonna let him walk into stuff.
That's what you guys have been doing this whole time. I don't know why you would change.
Tell you what, if you want to do a survival check, you can, but it's going to be a harder DC.
I already rolled a 9 on my nature check.
The tree is bipedal.
Bipedal tree? It's a moving tree? Oh, is it a Trent? Because I would definitely know what a Trent was.
It's
They're all over
it definitely
the
looks that way. It's right alongside the path, and the Aarakocra stops and about probably 50 feet away from it, and takes a moment to decide what to do, giving you an opportunity. Wish.
Pretty sure. Do Trents, or is it awaken trees? I think speak Sylvan. I don't know. I would like to try to speak to it in Sylvan, as I think that that's likely the language we're going to have in common. Since that's like one of the nature languages, or like the root for the nature languages.
Let's see here. I don't have access to this NPC on D&D Beyond. I'm gonna go to just Google and check a different website. Here we go. Okay, tell me again what you're gonna do.
I want to call out to the Trent and like greet it in a friendly manner. I would like to open dialogue.
Okay. 1 second. I'm almost ready here. You were right, by the way. It does speak Sylvan.
I wasn't entirely sure. I know that Sylvan is like one of like the nature, like the base for nature languages, so that's why I took it. But
yeah, you hear.
I would definitely know what this is.
Let me change something here real fast. Forest.
Yes, I do. That's good. Am I about the 70s?
your charisma is +4, and you have proficiency with
You hear the sound of wood moving, and almost like your neck popping and your back cracking and rustling of leaves, and arms start to slowly move from its sides, and it shifts its weight on its leg. And eyes open up. Who are
Greetings, Brother Tree. My name is Emissary Petal. And I am from Fairy, or the Feywild. I represent the court, the Harlequin Court. Me and my compatriots are traveling through the area.
Bye.
Why do you wake me from my slumber?
We respectfully request to pass through your portion of the forest. And do I have any appropriate offerings of good things for a tree creature?
Oh, I can give it some fresh water.
Ooh,
That's a bad idea.
it's not a bad idea at all.
You are welcome to pass.
Let's see how much fresh water.
People.
How is the Aarakocra responding to all this?
Yeah. I wanna be like kind of checking him out for like how's he handling it?
Standing back and letting you handle it. Basically, like trying to not be involved as much as possible. Maybe a little bit intimidated, but trying to not show it at the same time.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna like lean over to Guy and be like, we are definitely earning some cool guy points right now. I will thank the Trent and Ira. You said you have an offering of fresh water.
I do. I have 8 gallons.
Okay, take a point of inspiration for being just a nice person.
Thanks.
It's usually good to offer tribute to nature.
I feel like that's an appropriate gift.
Beings. Yeah, it's a very appropriate gift.
Yeah. He asks if there is anything else you need. That you may pass through the glade unarmed and unimpeded. But he has been shepherd of these forests for many eons.
Well, as someone who loves forests, as in is their favorite terrain, forest/jungle, I think you clearly have a beautiful one, and we look forward to passing through. We will be coming back through. We're going to the abandoned settlement of Ormu, and returning. Thank you for passage through your territory.
He nods very slowly, making all kinds of creaky wood sounds, and then he you almost like watch his feet almost take root again in the soil, and his arms stiffen and his neck and his eyes shut. He goes completely motionless. Slightly different position than before.
Oh, Trents are so cool.
They are. If you have the patience, they are so smart and have so much knowledge, but it does take you better be an elf.
Time, right?
Like, you better be an elf.
It's gonna take 5 years.
Yeah. I once lost several seasons to a conversation with a Chinese tree.
We have decided that you are not orcs.
You guys definitely could come back to the Treant if you want to talk with him. You are on a mission. So
yeah,
I would imagine in the Stardew Mountains. I think that's what they're called. Elvira, she would have known some Trents from there.
Hey, Petal, and Elvira, whichever one. As someone who doesn't speak tree, could I? What?
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting that you don't speak this. That we seem to speak all of the same languages that you don't speak. we've spoken with this magnificent Trent, and these are his woods. He's the shepherd of this forest, this portion of the forest, and he has said that we can pass unimpeded through his territory.
And don't worry, I wasn't wasting our fresh water. Like, this is an offering to the tree for super safe passage.
Yeah.
So that's why if it looked like I was dumping the water everywhere while mumbling to it.
Well, as you did that, there's like this growth that springs up and drinks the water, and there's some blooms that come up out of it. Like, this area is definitely different in a nice way.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of these trees around here are like watching you and like sentient. And
how long has he been here?
Oh, that's
hundreds of years.
Yeah,
probably,
these guys have probably
Okay. Whenever we come back to him, you think we should ask him about that Uptown thing?
We should have.
That
on
is
the way back.
On the way back.
Yes.
We did tell him we were going to come back.
And you know, really, conversations with Trent are always better on the way back through from wherever you're going.
Yeah.
If you have someone to go, don't. Like, they understand.
I also forgot, guys, that I was going to at the ruins. You're going to be able to see something else in the forest, and not just the forest. We're going to make a slight pause so I can show you what you saw that I forgot to tell you that you saw. Basically,
absolutely.
Where is it here? Okay, you see, basically due south of you. I just revealed another red circle.
Okay.
See if I can take the hexagons off of it. There is what appears to be a ship that is cracked in half in the tops of the trees, way off in the distance, and blue cloth also tattered and ripped and covering some of the tree foliage. See that? Then,
man, that must be a massive ship.
It must be massive to see from this far away. Shoot.
I was going to say...
How many days travel do you think that is?
A lot. I know we've got a lot of sidetracky things going on so far, but like...
We do have treasure.
If we're in the area, we should check that out. I don't know what kind of kraken threw a ship that far inland, but...
May I do a nature check to see if I could, like, halfway triangulate? Like, okay, well, we could definitely hit it once we go back through to the heart of Ubtao.
In way out of the way, we're up here.
I know, but if we're already going back to the heart of Ubtao, we won't be that far away from it.
I suppose if you kind of went in a circle,
a lot closer than we are now,
or a triangle, yeah, I suppose you could.
Oh, you're talking about if we go around?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if we end up going around to the Aldani Basin.
And I mean, look, I get that it's cool that it's a pirate ship in the trees. We also have a floating rock heart, so like that's really cool too.
Right? Yeah, I'm just saying, like if we find ourselves in the area, that might be worth checking out. I just kind of want to see what creature was big enough to yeet this thing over the Cobalt Mountains.
Did it fall out of the air?
I'm sharing with you the Aarakocra that's.
Oh, I was like, I don't know if Aarakocra are that big.
That's a cool looking Aarakocra. What kind of Aarakocra is that?
That is roll 20 Aarakocra, apparently.
Yo,
for some reason, I
awesome
can't get
looking.
I can't get it to load on my end for some reason.
Or did it like fall out of the sky? What if it wasn't yeeted anywhere? What if it was teleported?
Well, then we definitely need to check it out if we're in the area.
Right.
Another thing, you spot 3 volcanic mountain peaks. Southeast, even still, of that mountain. Or not mountain, of that ship.
Okay.
And you... let's do a history check from anybody interested.
Yes, I got it.
You may or may not know who or what these are. What these volcanic mountains are.
Does a 23 count?
Yeah. Those
here's
are...
the one thing Elvira knows about Chult.
That is the very well-known Peaks of Flame. The 3 Peaks of Flame. People have talked about them before. It is, it's an area that a lot of people don't go to because, well, it's quite dangerous to be up near a volcano. They're bigger than the one volcano that's in the Sky Lizard Mountains that you've heard of. And it's really not that far from approaching more of like the mainland of Faerun, because a lot of Chult is kind of like a peninsula.
Okay.
I can see that now.
So if so, looking at this map, like the Sandrich Mountains, like those are probably, that's probably considered like the dividing line between Chult and Faerun.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay.
It looks like.
This Valley of Dread sounds just like a lovely place to visit.
Maybe we'll skip there.
It's a good vacation spot.
It looks like it's choked out, right?
Right.
By sulfur and stuff.
Land of Ash and Smoke. Also, Valley of Lost Honor. That's there's a fun story behind that, I can tell.
I feel like the Kobold Mountains are going to be tedious.
They're gonna leave us short on patience.
A little bit. Snappy, maybe?
I'm gonna say it's about 3:30 by the time you guys make it to your canyon that you were aiming for.
Okay.
So you've got another hour and a half maybe before you've completely lost the light. You are still in a glade of trees. Now it's mixing. It's starting to mix between the like the pine trees and the deciduous.
Mm-hmm.
Things are starting to get a little bit lower. Let's just... I'm actually gonna have Cassandra roll a check here. Y'all could too if you, but she's gonna do an Arcana check.
Not a lot about Arcana.
Nah, neither.
12. Yeah, no. She doesn't know.
I think it's weird that I'm substantially better at deception than I am at persuasion.
I
keep forgetting that.
You're the evil kind of emissary.
Evil, mischievous. Chaotic good. Still chaotic good.
I need to work on Elvira's backstory more.
Yeah.
You guys have a pretty clear view of what is about a 200-foot wide chasm now in front of you.
Only I was high enough to get that Stonewall spell. Zach's personal favorite spell in the entire D&D spellbook.
Oh, nice. I'll have to look into that one.
I have dreams of using it to, like, Minecraft a fortress one day. Someone will let me do it in a game at some point. I've already gone on CAD and figured out how many, like, days, how many spells I need to cast to build a wizard's tower. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
You know what CAD stands for, right?
Computer-aided drafting. I got the freebie. I got a freebie.
It's a farmer term. It's cardboard-aided design. It's when you're designing something from scratch and you're a redneck and you take cardboard and you cut it out into the shape.
Fantastic. That's what I would need to do with my ADD self.
Oh, okay. I was talking about like AutoCAD. Like
I know you were. I was just kidding.
Oh, cardboard-aided design.
That sounds, yeah, I would love to do that.
Who hasn't made a mock-up before?
I do that all the time. Anyway, yeah, none of you know the depth of this chasm. You haven't checked it yet. So if you'd like to, you can try to find out.
What if I was to, like, take a rock, tie some rope or twine around it, chuck it down the chasm, and then, like, try to measure it that way?
That would make that would mean I wouldn't need a check for that, because that's a very reasonable way to try to measure it.
Okay.
Find that the depth of the chasm is about 150 feet. And Raka, well, first of all, the Aarakocra has now left you and has gone back. Just didn't say a word, just turned and left. Went back to its land. Unfortunately, not the most helpful NPC, but wanted to keep to itself. But
Share
Raka,
language that makes it hard.
right. Raka looks at it and he says, "It's a lot bigger than I remember." Or, it's a lot bigger than I remember.
How do you guys want to do this then? That's pretty steep.
Can I look to the north and south and see if there's anywhere where it might like descend down some, like in a slope, so we could get closer, like maybe 50 feet?
Either way, we're still gonna have to stash Winston and the plucked monkey here.
Yeah. I mean, let's keep them on the high ground for sure. Maybe in the low ground though, if there's more of those. Have we seen any more of those Terra people recently?
No, they you haven't seen them in, I think, 2 days now.
Okay, go Google.
Yeah, I'm not super worried about them.
No,
Winston's tough.
Well, sometimes the further down you go, you have more leaf covered.
Yeah, you haven't
Good.
seen any more of the Terra folk. So you got Vorn to look after Winston.
We could leave one behind to look
We
after
really
Winston.
could, yeah. But who knows what we're going into in there? What if we need Vord?
Do
Well,
you
you've
think we
got
can get
Vorn and
Vaughn
Winston.
down?
Down here still.
Oh, I thought we went back and got them.
Oh, did you? That's fine if you did. I just missed that detail.
Yeah, I thought that's why it was going to take like an extra week to get there. It was because we had to go all the way back down and then go around.
Okay, we'll just say that happened. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I just missed that before.
If not, we can totally...
Oh.
One little flavor detail then. When you went back, you found all kinds of like little red spots in the ground where Vorn had just the time of his life, like squashing little things that were trying to peck at Winston and kind of be mischievous. But he's probably killed like 50 small little like foxes, weasels.
Did you play whack-a-mole, dude? Did you have fun at the arcade?
He did a little whack-a-mole. He's got a little bit of a red paint job on his feet now.
But don't worry about it. We'll get you cleaned up.
Anyway, back to where we are now. Yes, you certainly could not get Vorn or Winston across this by going down and back up, or by jumping, or by really any method that has been discussed so far. Let's have a survival check from Elvira, since she wants to check north and south. And the rest of you could join her if you want.
Mm-hmm. You said survival?
Yeah.
Almost.
Or just 3.
12.
I don't know why I almost said
12.
Just 3. Did y'all ever do like those low ropes courses for like leadership stuff and everything, and like work and everything? Like you had to like get everyone across the lava pit with just the rope in one. I feel like that's what we're doing. I think I've done too many of these to get stumped up on this right now.
That riddle where you have like 5 people and you need to take them across the river on a boat, and all of them are disadvantaged in one way or another, and like you have to have 2 people per trip for some reason the entire time, and yeah.
It is those that I learned that your femur can take up to like 300 to 400 pounds.
It's an interesting fact.
Let's try for you.
All right. I don't know if I could use that information, but interesting. Elvira, you're off on your own, looking in this one area. Your teammates they either have their backs turned or they're just not there to witness what you see. But you see these depressions in the ground that look like they're probably the size of, I don't know, maybe a dog. I would use an animal for a unit of scale, and they are side by side, traveling along one side of this canyon. Your roll's not high enough to really know what it is, but you see these depressions and you think, that's strange.
Fresh tracks. Something's been around here. I'm assuming I know it's like a predator of some kind, right? I'm not like, cute deer.
No, they're not tracks on the ground. They're like in the canyon. Right, Dan? They're in the canyon, like wall.
No, they're up on top, kind of where she is.
Yeah.
My bad.
Guy finds a really long length of vines that are growing down from your side of the canyon all the way down to the bottom. And then Petal just finds some really out of place boulders that like they clearly aren't from here because the moss is on the bottom. There's a little bit of dirt sticking to what's on the top, and the ground around it looks like it has been disturbed.
I don't know what's big enough to like move boulders around. These are pretty big boulders, right?
Yeah, I would say like 2, 3, 4 tons of stone.
We should be careful. I have reason to believe there's something big enough to move these bad boys around. So we should be extra careful. Also, bad news, Sharkan, I don't think you're going to make it this trip. I think you might have to stay back with the cool kids.
We might have to return.
Cool kids?
Yeah, Vorn and Winston are the cool kids.
We
And
have the faithful, and we have the cool kids.
No, if Sharkan can't get on the rock wall, neither can my bird thing.
That's true.
I love the names you come up with. They're great.
Ooh, I can now cast Speak with Animals too, so that should make my animal handling checks a lot easier.
That's amazing.
Of all of the like combat spells and other utility spells that I thought about taking, I was like, no, I'm gonna need to Speak with Animals because my animal handling skill is not very good. We're gonna need to have frank conversations about expectations and stuff. Like, listen, Sharkan, you know I bring the best treats, right? Like, you know this. How many of those delicious rabbits did you get? You got a lot of them, right? So, stay here, hang out, keep an eye on Winston and Vorn, help them out. You know, don't go too heavy on the local wildlife. We did talk to that Trent, and I don't exactly know where his boundaries are.
And the Aarakocra.
They left a while ago. They said we got an escort through their territory.
Okay,
I'm thinking we're off the hook with those guys for at least right now.
Guy, as
Yes?
you're looking at the vines, you hear a faint rustle behind you. You think, oh, it's probably a bird or something. And then you feel weightless. And all of a sudden you start going up.
I want to look up. I want to look up and see what's. Do I feel anything like grabbing me, or?
Oh yeah, you feel like you're being picked up by your shirt or your chainmail. I can't remember which it is. It's chainmail.
Okay.
And you look up and you see a bluish gray hand holding on to you. It's behind you, so it's hard to really see the face unless you turn around to the side and you see this big dumb face looking at you, kind of cross-eyed, like.
Is it a troll? Is it a troll? And not a giant.
You're not sure what it is.
Are we close enough? Are we close enough to hear what I'm assuming is a very high-pitched scream?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just speaking
Yeah.
from personal experience.
Yeah, you heard the scream, but not what came before it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, guy's in trouble. Guy in trouble.
Guy down.
I'm gonna start moving that direction.
Okay.
And if Elvira is yelling through the jungle, then I'm gonna move away from her too, because I'm not gonna get got. Everybody where you're at, that's fine.
Well, I'll start moving faster so it forgets where I am.
I don't think that's how that works.
It's exactly how that works.
In the hand that's not holding you, there is a big wooden club. And
Team Harry Potter, this is gonna be okay.
You guys managed to make it there within a few seconds, and you witness Guy being held by a very inquisitive. You'd probably be able to figure out it's a stone giant. It's very, very large. It's the color of stone. It doesn't look anywhere near as dumb as those other giants that you ran into on the other side. Oh. This one looks like he's eyeing you up and down, like he's trying to figure out exactly if he wants to, like, throw you down into the chasm, or if maybe you might be useful in some way.
Hello? Hello? Hi? Hi? Hi?
Guy, who's your new friend?
Trying to figure that out. Hello? Hello? Can you...
He's just saying something that you don't understand.
I will I will step out into the open and start cycling languages, starting with Common, then Elvish, then Sylvan, then Draconic.
Then Raka steps in and says something in that same language, and the giant looks over at him in a rush, and then just... And Guy, you fall like 5 feet. You're not going to take any damage, but you fall. And you're knocked prone because of the impact. And Raka shouts something at him, and then he furrows his brow. And Raka's like, crap, that was my mistake.
Raga, are we fighting or are we friends, buddy? Keep me in the loop.
I think we're fighting.
All right. Light them up.
Okay. This is where I cue the comedic battle music because it's almost kind of dumb. Let's see here. Yeah, playful fight. Here we go.
So do I start prone?
Actually, I'll do normal fight. Yes. Yes, you do. Sorry, you do. But it only takes half your movement to get out of prone anyway. Yep. I'm going to move us to the random battle map now. Which I have not drawn yet, so I'm going to have to erase what's ever on here. One moment while my Roll20 is as slow as molasses in January.
That's the map, guys. You see it. That's for realsies.
Man, I can't see anything. Oh! Wow, this is the last time we use this map, huh? Wow. So don't forget, you have Vorn with you, and you have Winston with you. Oh my gosh, the lag is terrible. Yes, you have your entire party here.
Kaiju fight. No, wait, giant fight. Giant fight.
I'm gonna need you to bear with me for just like 2 minutes here while my internet connection just like catches up with what I want to do.
Have Vorn run up there and do some classic rock'em sock'em.
Come on. Come on, Roll20.
No.
There we go. I don't know why, but the backdrop on this map takes forever to load, and then after that I can actually move at a decent speed, so... Alright, the token I'm going to put down is not actually the correct one. It's just what I have. Just bear with me, it's not actually a frost giant, it's a stone giant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, map in background. On your left is the ravine. And then I'm just going to make some circles for trees here. Alright, may the battle begin. Oh, well, I guess we need to do initiative, don't we? Roll for initiative.
I rolled a 3.
Okay. I'm gonna add you all here to the tracker. Oh, shoot.
Giants, because stone giants were stupid.
Okay.
Turn.
Frost giants are evil, but okay.
And turn.
AS Pedal probably wouldn't know that.
This one's not a frost giant, I'm just using that token.
I'm just looking.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yep, it's actually a stone giant.
He wasn't here, so when he got back, I was like, hey, he decided to use frost giants.
Those are very different creatures. We can probably take a stone giant. I don't know about frost giant yet.
Changed its mind or
Yeah,
whatever.
no, I'm just using the token because I don't have one for the stone giant. Alright. Go ahead and add your initiative, if you please.
And I was probably like right near him. Yeah.
Yeah, you're there. Yep, that's perfect. Oh man, 19 and 13 for not Keegan. We need Raka. Keegan's not here anymore. Hmm. 17.23. That's very
Well, I
specific.
put 2, and then I accidentally hit 3 and just rolled with it.
Only like 0.01 off, so
Yeah.
it shouldn't change that much.
Okay, what does Vorn get?
Are you running Vorn, Liz?
Oh, am I?
I thought you were going to keep him next to you to get that sweet, sweet defensive bonus.
Okay, I can. Can you allow me to move Warren's piece?
Oh,
What
yes,
is he-
I didn't realize you couldn't. Let's see.
Do I have a stat block too?
Shoot. It won't let me, but I will do...
If you can, keep him next to me,
We'll just
and I'll
give
roll all
you...
of them.
Premium assets, free assets, freebies. This is your temporary Vorn.
Okay. Also, do I have a stat block for him somewhere?
Yes, if you go to Google and type D&D Shield Guardian, that's what he is.
Okay, cool.
So you get
Thank
that.
you.
Mm-hmm. Only thing that's different is I've allowed him to speak and understand languages, so.
And he has schizophrenia.
And he has schizophrenia. That's a very important stat.
It is.
So what's
Right here,
gonna
man.
be?
You can also find it if you go to Roll 20 if you go over here.
Alright, top of the initiative is Raka.
And then can I-
Raka is
These are-
going to make an attack with his
just need a number.
sling, because he doesn't have another ranged weapon. Plus 5 to hit. 17. Pretty sure that decks him. No, it doesn't. Raka fires a sling stone off into the woods, and it clatters off a tree. Clack! Going to Winston Petal Sharkan. It's turn.
Shoot, hold on. His dexterity, then -1. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna roll for him real quick. So,
I think he just takes yours.
you just want him to... Okay. So,
I'm definitely taking shots at him with my bow. Does a 29 hit?
Yes.
Ooh, sorry. Before I shoot, can I cast Hunter's Mark?
Yeah.
Okay. If not, I can get in before the next one. Alrighty, so that is going to be 7 points of piercing damage, 2 points of frost damage, or of cold damage, and 3 points of force damage. So 7, 3, and 2, 12 points of damage total for my first attack.
Okay, excellent.
For my second attack, another 29 to hit.
That hits.
Damage is trash. That's not too bad. All right, so that'll be 6 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. I got to re-roll on piercing damage. Let me re-roll that 8. That's terrible. There we go. That's much better. That'll be 10 points of piercing damage and 7 points of cold damage, and I'm pretty sure I only get Hunter's Mark on one of my attacks.
Okay. So that does it for...
an extra D6 whenever I hit with a weapon attack. Okay. So one more D6.
Oh.
So that'll be an extra 2.
Okay. I need a calculator now. I want to be fast. Oh, that's the wrong app. Oops. All right. Is that it for Petal then?
Yeah, so that's going to be 12 plus 7 is 19. So 19 points of total damage for that attack. Plus the, 12 for the one before.
Okay.
Did you kill him already?
I got one trick, girl. Stand on the back of an animal and shoot my bow.
There we go.
And look good doing it, of course.
That's 3 kills.
All right.
That's a big old pool.
That was some solid damage you just did.
That was solid damage. That's why I'm asking you. You took all the thunder.
I don't know about that. Don't you have like 3rd level spells?
Yeah, I do. But I'm at the very bottom, so I'm always worried I'm never going to use them when I roll that low.
How about Winston and Shar Khan?
They're both. I'm gonna have them circle up. I'm standing on Winston's back, so that if he comes at me, Winston can get him with the spikes, and then Shar Khan knows to go for the Achilles heel. We had that discussion too when I last cast Speak with Animals. When we were going over the game plan. Cats are smart. You're like, I get them in the ankles.
So what is their attack then?
They're not attacking.
I see. I missed that. Okay. Cool.
Because, I mean, he's pretty far away, so.
Mm-hmm. That's true. All right, then Cassandra's gonna crack her knuckles. She's gonna go ahead and cast a spell here. I'm gonna use the incantations that I wrote down that I keep forgetting about. Double check that I want to do this one here. Okay, she's gonna say Ex ere and Ko Nihil Erat. And in front of you, you see something happen that you've not seen before. A large spectral floating hand appears in front of the giant, and she makes a command, and it grabs hold of the club and holds onto it, restraining it from moving forward.
Baby.
Loving it.
It doesn't really yank it out of the giant's hand, but it holds it from coming down on Guy's head. And she's going to pass the turn to Guy now.
Cool. All right.
She can hold that for 1 minute, by the way, as long as she has
so
concentration.
10-ish turns.
6 turns, I think. No.
Yeah.
10 turns. Yeah, you're right. 10 turns.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm gonna roll to my feet All right. Prepare to taste the flame of Burn Hag. And I draw my flaming sword.
Flame tongue.
No, I named it Burn Hag because it burns hags.
You're very original with your names.
Yes.
What's your damage?
Well, I need to roll.
Or sorry, your attack. Sorry.
Well, I'm going to use that, which means I get to roll with advantage. And a good thing too. 14.
And what are you attacking with again? Your sword?
Yes.
He lifts his foot up, and you swing underneath, and he brings his foot back down.
Okay.
He's maybe a little bit more agile than you might have expected.
I am attacking a second time.
Okay.
17.
Does not hit. What happens is
Yeah.
you smack his leg, but unfortunately, in the chaos, you kind of like tilted it a little bit. You hit him with the flat of the blade. So it didn't cut anything. It just bounces right off of his thick muscle in his calf.
You know what? I'm going to...
You have 15 movement left if you want to use it.
Well, it's 10.
Don't you have a 30 movement speed? Oh, you moved 5 feet closer. That's right.
Yes. Hang
That's
on,
right.
I need to look up something real quick.
Figure out who's next after that. Frost Giant, then Liz. Yep.
Oh, shit, that's right.
I hate to. You seem so excited. Me.
Okay, I'm going to use my action surge, and I am going to take the dodge action.
Okay, can you tell me what that does? I don't.
When you take the dodge action, you focus entirely on avoiding attacks. Until the start of your next turn, any attack roll made against you has disadvantage if you can see the attacker, and you make dexterity saving throws with advantage.
Nice.
You lose benefit if you are incapacitated or your speed drops to 0.
Okay, so if I attack you, remind me of that.
Yep.
Oh, shoot. Well, it's the giant's turn. I forgot. He was next. Okay. So that was pointless. The giant is actually going to use this as a use his turn for an action instead of an attack, and he's going to bellow a roar with intimidation. So you're going to have let me double check. Test and roll. Make that and a charisma saving throw, please, for Guy. And
That
Elvira.
is an 8.
Okay. You are a little bit intimidated. So the next time you're on your next turn, you're going to have disadvantage for attacks. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get one from Elvira too? I think you were close enough.
A what check?
Just a charisma saving throw, because he's trying to intimidate you. There isn't really a rule for this. I'm just kind of going with it. Okay, you're not really intimidated. The distance has made it not quite as terrifying.
I'm just still startled though.
Okay. You hear crashing in the bushes behind him, and a second one appears. But it used its turn in getting there. And that brings us to Elvira.
And alright, so the first one that we have been fighting. Shoot, one. Let me measure real quick. I might need to move up. One moment.
I like this music.
Just there. Alright, I need an intelligence saving throw, please.
Okay. Let's see what he does. They're actually not too bad on intelligence. 10?
Ooh, not really though. You're not that good. So that is 11 points of damage, and now you must choose between a movement action or bonus action.
Okay. All right, I'll notate that. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. Brings us to Raka. He's going to take a new position. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He's going to make another attack with his sling. Actually, no. I'm changing my mind. I'm going to...
Are there supposed to be 2 of them?
Yes, a second one appeared in the background. Oh. Sorry.
Why are you apologizing?
Alright. He casts something on himself that you don't really know what it is. But he shimmers a little bit. And that's his turn. Brings us to Petal.
Petal's gonna do the same thing he did last time and just put 2 arrows, or try to put 2 arrows in the front guy, seeing as he's the most injured. Take him out. Does a 26 hit?
Yeah. I love how you ask for those. Does a 99 hit?
I don't want to beep or something and be like, "Oh, I hit, Dan. I hit."
I know. It's just funny.
Okay. 2 and 2. Okay, so 15. So the first one will be 15 points of damage. If you want the damage breakdown, I can give it to you.
No, that's okay. He doesn't have any immunities.
Okay.
Oh, I just gave away information. Oh well.
I'm guessing a 25 probably hits for my second attack.
Yeah.
Okay. That's better. Okay. So we...
Oh, Gesundheit.
11. Thank you. 11.
That's Elvish for bless you.
Bless you. 11 plus 7 is 18. Plus 4. That'll be 22 points of damage.
Woohoo! Wow.
Wham,
Not killing
bam,
him, but-
yes, ma'am.
But
I
that
rolled
was
pretty
a good
decent
hit.
on that one.
That was a good hit. Way to go, man.
I'm still going to keep Sharkan and Winston close.
Uh-huh.
Just because I really don't want... Winston I'm not so worried about, but Sharkan will get wrecked. He's a tiger against a giant.
Uh-huh.
I love him. He's a sweet boy. But it's not going to last.
Is one of them dead? I just have to wait for a second.
No.
Okay. I forgot Vaughn last time. I didn't do that.
Okay.
Well, if you're just keeping him close to
Cassandra.
you,
You don't have to do anything, right?
Okay, Guy.
you just benefit from you.
Cassandra is going to use her full action to move closer so that you can hear her, and she's going to tell you to blow the horn of blasting.
I don't have it.
No, I have it. Oh, I need.
Oh,
to get
you
the
have
stats
it.
correct.
Oh, I thought Guy had it. All right, she's going to do that to Elvira.
Did you send the stats on that one too? I need to get better at making these items.
Let me
You
find
should
out
be able
real
to
fast.
find it in- I think you can probably just find it in D&D.
In D&D, okay.
Yeah.
1 second, Dan. I got it.
Okay.
Horn of blasting.
You can use an action to speak more as command in the word. You blow the horn, which one is a thunderous blast and 34 kilometers. Each creature in the kingdom. Okay, so I'm gonna need to use my movement. 1 moment to move up.
It's not your turn, man.
Okay, never mind.
Oh, yeah, sorry, it's not
No,
your turn
sorry,
yet.
I wasn't thinking. I won't think out loud anymore. But I am.
No, you're good. It then goes to Guy. Now, Guy, just so you know, Horn of Blasting is a cone. It's a cone attack. So if you want to move out of the way, if you want to disengage and move out of the way, you can.
Can I? Yeah, never mind.
Wait.
I don't mean to be taking over. I just don't want you to get
Okay.
hit because you weren't aware of how the spell worked.
I'm going to disengage then. Move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's my turn.
Okay. Frost Giant is going to... Or, sorry, Stone Giant, I mean. Is going to move. Let's see here. Hang on. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. It's going to come on over to Elvira. And it cannot attack. You're too far away.
Okay,
And,
good.
Oh,
remember,
you know what?
I have Vorn next to me when it does attack.
Yeah, you're 5 feet too far away for it to hit you.
Haha. Okay, which puts it in perfect line for me to hit it and not have to use.
That's right. It's your turn.
So I'm going to play the Horn of Blast in 1 second.
Quick question, real quick. Dan, what about the other one?
Oh, good point. It's just going to move forward. Thank you, Eli. I forgot.
You're welcome.
Okay, so let me measure one more thing. Dang it. Okay, so it's just that one. But I am going to use the horn. Each creature must make a DC or Constitution saving throw.
Okay, Constitution saving throw. Both of them do?
Just the one near me, sorry.
Damaged one.
Uh, 24.
Oh, it beats it. Yeah, never mind.
But doesn't it affect in the whole cone, though? Like...
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me read it one more time. Sorry.
Because I think you might hit the second one as well.
Yeah,
okay, never mind. I don't hit the second one because it's only 30 feet away. However, on a successful save, a creature takes half as much damage and isn't deafened. So give me 1 moment to still roll. Creatures and objects made of glass, crystal, or have disadvantage. Okay, never mind. So let me roll damage real quick, which is 5d6. No, I can choose, like...
Yeah, just click it 6 times.
Oh, wait, no, 5 of them. And it's half rounded up. Okay, so 8 damage.
Okay. I thought you were gonna do something to it. He seems noticeably staggered by that hit. He kind of loses all of his momentum and gets kind of not pushed back, but he leans back and almost loses his balance. But he catches himself.
Oh no, that was just my turn. Okay, and then Vorn. Where's his stuff at? He is gonna at least pop it in the face. So he can do a multi-punch fist attack, melee weapon attack, so that to hit. Why did I do that? Okay, so the +7 to hit would be a d20 +7, right? Yeah.
Yes. Wait, no, +7. Yeah, +7 hits d20 +7.
14.
That does not hit, unfortunately.
I didn't think so. It was almost a 17, though. I was super excited.
There's your quote-unquote Vorn for you. For some reason,
Oh,
you
wait,
can't
wait,
control
there's
the
two. There's two of them, so I can make another melee attack, right? I think.
other. Okay, yep.
This one. No, only a 12. Never mind.
Unfortunate.
Like, dude.
I
Are
mean,
you
he's
adding his,
mostly
like-
defensive.
Are you adding his plus whatever to hit too?
Yeah, I am.
She's just
He
rolling
rolled
trash.
I rolled a 7 and a 5.
Oh well, you got to get those out at some point, right?
Right.
Okay. Raka's turn. To the astute observer, he has cast bark skin on himself, so he's improved his armor class a little bit. And then he is going to go into concentration for his favorite spell ever of cast lightning. So if he hits, he will do that, but we need a dexterity saving throw.
Rockets.
Yeah, this is Raka going here. The stone giant's absolutely terrible. He must have really been impacted by your attack, and he gets hit with 7 thunder. I think it's thunder damage is what it's called. Lightning damage. As Raka calls down a lightning bolt from the sky above him.
Is that call lightning you're using?
Yeah, he's using Call Lightning, which I think is a concentration. Let's see here. Yeah, up to 10 minutes.
I haven't actually used that one yet. Is that the one that, like, can you accidentally friendly fire with that, or is it not?
No, you choose a point where you want the lightning to hit. So,
Okay, cool.
if you're within 5 feet of it, you have to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, where it hits. Gotcha. Okay,
Yep.
that makes sense.
Yep, that's correct. I think he had to move a little closer to do that. That's his turn. It's Petal's turn now.
Wait,
Wait. Yeah.
what about Elvira?
No, I just went.
Wait, I thought you were the bottom of the initiative.
I am.
Yeah, she went, and then Raka went.
Oh, that's right. Raka's ahead of me. Okay. My bad. Same thing I did last time. 2 in the face.
Double
Does
tap.
a 19 hit?
Yes.
Nice.
Just barely.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. 16 plus. That'll be 19 points of damage for my first attack.
Okay. Wow.
Does a dirty 20 hit?
Yes.
I'll reroll that. I shouldn't have done that. Oh well. 10 total plus. Then the next one is for 11 points of total damage.
How do you want it to do this?
Yes. So by this point, this guy's been blasted with the horn. Guys slapped him about with the sword a little bit. He's a pincushion. I like for the first arrow that I shot this turn, I want to like catch him in the knee. So he's like and like goes down. So he's like lower and hunched over.
No
And
more
then while he's
adventure
over,
for me!
I'm like lining guy up for like a good swing, and I'm gonna like just like pop him right in the chest. So he's just like,
Thud.
I was trying to line him up so guy could finish him off, but
Much
Still
appreciated.
only counts as one.
you can agree to disagree. His arm counts as one, okay?
Okay. Just recording the XP that you just earned from that. Great. I'm guessing that moves us on to the next person in initiative.
Yeah, we're done.
Okay.
We're done. The bully boys aren't doing anything.
Cassandra's
They're still
mage
just
hand
fighting.
is still in play. Oh wait, no, it shouldn't be. She dropped that.
Was that Bigsby's hand?
Yes.
So useful.
She's gonna just take out her crossbow and put one in the second guy. Oh, she's not. She misses. Just sails right by, moving us on to Guy.
Alright. Guy's gonna put Burnhag away and take out his flail instead.
Oh,
His magic flail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's gonna charge the second one and
so heroic.
use his distracting whatever. Yep, bonus action. So that is advantage to hit. And of course I roll a natural 20. Okay.
Oh,
that was
so
not
double your
entirely
damage.
Shit. Right.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so that's 17 times 2. That's 34.
Oh, I forgot how hard you hit.
34.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah, and that was just for my first attack too. Okay, I'm gonna attack him again.
Now that I got that puny blow out of the way.
17.
To hit, that just misses.
Oh.
Good try, though. Really good try.
Fortuitous.
Infortuitous. A great word choice. Anything else?
Alright,
for your turn?
that's my turn.
Oh, that's it? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay, so, this... With the sounds that have been going on in this battle, it appears you may have attracted some attention. And, at first, it's hard to tell because you're so focused on the fight, but the trees start to sway. You hear a rustling and one of the trees starts to come to life. And very, very slowly at first. But as it starts to move, it gets a little bit more limber. It moves towards that second giant. And I'm going to say, because it just awoke, that's its action, it's not going to be able to attack this one. But the giant is going to see if he's intelligent to know that he should change targets. No, we're going to say he's so focused on you, Guy, that he doesn't even notice the tree coming at him.
I just got him. I got him like real good in like the shin or the ankle or something.
Yeah.
Guys about to get to it.
He's going to make a multi-attack.
Oh, fun.
Okay, does a 22 or a 14 hit?
The 14 does not hit.
Okay. What its damage is. It does 20 damage bludgeoning to you as it brings its great club down twice. The first time it misses. The second time it connects.
I'm going to use my reaction to parry. because parrying right now sounds awesome.
It sounds amazing. I don't know how that would work, but it's
parry it.
Like a boss, this was what I would say.
I reduce the damage by... Wait, hold on. How much?
You're gonna parry a giant's club with a flail. I love this.
Yep. I reduce the damage by... Where is it? By 8. So
okay, so you only take 12.
12
bludgeoning. That was effective. Quite effective. And
so he brings his great club down, but like before he smashes me fully, I smash a big chunk out of it with my flail, and so is it like a spiked club or just...
It is a little a little bit. It's not enough to pierce you, but it deflects a little bit, and so it just just hits you on the side. Which definitely sucks. It feels terrible, but you're gonna live.
Could feel worse.
It could feel dead.
Yeah,
it could feel a whole 8 points worse.
Yeah.
Elvira's next.
All right, Elvira is going to cast. You can't cast that one because that'll hurt Guy. I'm going to make the executive decision for her. She is going to cast... Chaos Bolt.
Okay.
For 10 points of fire damage.
Right on. 10 points of fire. Does that set it afire?
No.
I don't believe so, no.
What was the question?
Does that set it on fire?
No.
Okay.
And then Vorn is gonna take his...
I think he might have to move up.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on, sorry. I was not looking at the map. Oh, yeah.
He's probably not
well,
gonna...
never mind, then he's not, he's just gonna stay with me.
Oh, okay.
And not do anything right now.
Okay. Fair enough. Then Raka... That was your turn, right?
Yeah.
Raka's gonna try to call down lightning on the frost... not frost giant, stone giant. Which needs to do a dexterity saving throw. Who misses, and then he's gonna take 12 points of lightning damage. Okay. All right. He's also moving up a little bit with that. Guy's turn. Oh, wait, no, sorry, Petal's turn. I was in the wrong place on the turn order. Petal's turn.
No worries. I am going to shout something like, "Thank you for the assistance, brother of the forest," at the Trent, and then I'm going to unload into this guy like I did it. Does a 13 hit?
No, unfortunately.
Didn't think so. How's about a 28?
Much better, yes.
Ooh, almost max damage on that one.
Someday we're going to play a game where he has like 500 to attack, and then you're going to be attacking an enemy that has like 400, and you're going to get 1,000,000. And it's just going to be ridiculous. Just keep leveling up. You're level 132 right now.
I do have plus 10 to hit because the bow is plus 1.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And yeah,
that's pretty sweet.
It's what's up. It's what's up.
This is what allows me to throw giants at you without squishing you immediately.
So that's gonna be
Caveat.
14 plus 3. So 17 points of damage total.
Okay. Why can't I do math?
Not a 1. Nope.
Okay. Was that both attacks? I think so.
That was both attacks. The first one missed.
Cassandra making an attack with her crossbow. For a whopping 9, which misses again. This time she accidentally hits the treant, which doesn't react.
Okay.
Moving us to Guy.
All right. Distracting strike again. So that means I get advantage. Okay, does a unnatural 20 hit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does an artificial 20 hit?
He takes 8 points of bludgeoning damage for the first attack.
Okay. When this battle's over, we'll wrap up because it's getting late.
A 16 doesn't hit, right?
Nope, that one misses.
Okay. Yep, so that's my turn.
Sweet. Stone Giant is going to try to attack you again. 22 and a nat 20.
Ooh.
Believe in you.
Guy, I am afraid that you are at 0 health points.
Dang! How much damage did he deal?
Do you want to know?
Yes?
He did 43 damage to you in 2
Yep,
hits.
okay.
And that's not including the double damage. That should have been 63 damage.
No.
Okay, what's your health point maximum there, Guy?
39.
You got real lucky, because if someone does double your maximum health points, rules is written, you're just
I
dead.
was just about to ask if there was a mechanic for like at some point, like you don't even do death saving throws. You're just
Wait, so how much damage did he do?
So he's doing 43.
Okay. Whew!
So I guess that's just Exhibit A why you sometimes want to be careful how close you're standing to the giant you're attacking.
Yeah, but I can't let him get close to anyone else.
You're right. That's right.
Appreciate the sacrifice, buddy.
Yeah. You didn't run away. You ran ahead.
Yep.
What is my range on Cure Wounds?
The Trent is going to make an attack now. Oh, and just absolutely destroy this thing. Or
Trent's hit like rocks.
okay, he's gonna the Trent is going to make 2 slam attacks with its tree trunk arms and do 39 damage. Oh man, how do I want to do this? That's it. Just simple. And he wipes the floor. I'm gonna give you guys the XP for it though.
Appreciate it.
You did a lot of the work. Well done, fellas.
We also negotiated for like the protection of the forest as well.
Which I did write down XP for that earlier.
Oh, so, did you? Okay.
Yep. I've got. Let's tally up the XP real fast before anyone leaves, because y'all did a great job. You
also, can I get healed before we leave?
Cassandra will run over and cast Cure Wounds at 3rd level on you.
Yay! Which does what?
I'll find out here. 3d8 plus 1.
It's 3d8 plus whatever her modifier is.
You get 23 damage or health back.
That's impressive.
All right, your total XP tonight, undivided. This is before I divide by 3. 6,330. That's 2,110 per person.
Dang.
2,110.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
We are so close to level 3. There's level 6.
And how much XP does everyone else have? Just so I know that I'm at the right amount.
You said 2,100. I hit the wrong buttons.
I have 10,910 right now.
I have to say, way to go, guys. That was super fun. We got a lot of roleplay in. We got a fight in at the end.
Wow.
Do we all have?
We should all have the same amount. I have 13,190.
I have 13,186.
Oh, okay.
Go with the 13,190.
Okay.
And
4 XP.
next week, I will get you to Orolunga. I meant to do it today, but I had some ideas pop into my head. Let's just say, like, almost all of today's session was just ad-lib because I decided I wanted to change it on the fly, and I think it was... I enjoyed myself very much.
I thought it was very good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Tune in next time for another episode of Dan's Tomb of Annihilation.
Guys, if we keep kicking butt at this rate, we only need, what, 910 experience points apiece to hit level 6. So if we're going to go murder hobo, next session! Although, let's not mess with this Trent because they're cool and they'll wreck us.
Oh, yes. Quick before I end the recording, the Trent that came in and saved the day took root into the ground once again right after doing so.
Wakes up, kills a stone giant, goes back to sleep.
Yeah, I'm tired
Oh,
now.
man.
Good night.